Restricted key figures are key figures of the InfoProvider that are restricted by one or more characteristic selections. A restricted key figure may be based on a basic key figure, a calculated key figure, or a key figure that is already restricted. By using restricted key figures, you can focus the query result on certain values. While a filter is valid for an entire query, a restricted key figure is valid for the key figure only, restricting it to its allocated characteristic value or characteristic value interval. For example, you could use a restricted key figure to compare a key figure for various time segments, or to compare a planned key figure with the actual key figure when planned data is stored in a specific characteristic.
You can create restricted key figures at the InfoProvider level and at the query level. In BEX Query Designer, use selections when defining a restricted key figure to determine the data to display at runtime. You can use constant selection to keep a key figure constant in the result, and you can use navigation filters to further restrict your selections at runtime.
Complicated calculations for information analysis are necessary in reporting. This requires various mathematical functions such as percentage functions and totals functions. You can take basic key figures, restricted key figures, or calculated key figures to define new calculated key figures. For example, use the restricted key figures for 2 specific years to calculate the difference between the sales volumes of the years in question. You can define calculated key figures at InfoProvider level and at query level. If you create a calculated key figure at InfoProvider level, you can use it in all queries that are based on the same InfoProvider. At query level, the calculated key figure is valid only for the query in question. Key figures always keep their units when a query is executed. This means that the formula is semantically incorrect if you add a currency unit, for example, EUR, to a unit of weight, for example, kg. If you want to calculate values without using units, use the value without dimension data function.
To define calculated key figures at the query level, do the following.
When creating a query-level calculated key figure, you can define missing objects directly on the change formula screen. You do not have to leave the screen to create the missing key figure.
While you create InfoProvider level and query level calculated key figures in BEX Query Designer, you can create a calculated key figure at report level using SAP Business Objects Analysis.
The following functions are available as operators when you are defining a calculated key figure.
The table describes the range of percentage functions that are available as operators for calculated key figures.
The table describes the range of data functions that are available for calculated key figures.
Mathematical functions that are available for calculated key figures include the following.
Boolean operators are available as operators when you define a calculated key figure.
The figure shows an example of Boolean logic using if-then-else to calculate a bonus. The logic is, if sales volume greater than 100,000, then bonus should be sales volume multiplied by 5%, else bonus should be sales volume multiplied by 2%. The formula is sales volume greater than 100,000 multiplied by sales volume multiplied by 0.05 plus sales volume less than or equal to 100,000 multiplied by sales volume multiplied by 0.02. The formula works because at least one side of the calculation will always be multiplied by 0. In the figure, there is also a restriction that the bonus should only be calculated for sales volume greater than 0.
Query components have properties that modify a key figure's presentation or function. The Properties pane is on the right-hand side of the Query Designer, where you can switch between properties and tasks using the tabs at the lower part of the pane. Select a key figure by clicking once on the object in the query or by using the drop-down list at the top of the Properties pane.
Use default setting is listed for most properties. When selected, info object metadata is used. To maintain the properties of multiple key figures simultaneously, select all the key figures you want to include using Ctrl+click. The Properties pane will display the properties. In this demonstration, you will see how to maintain the properties for key figures. First, you will see how to open BEX Query Designer. Click Start. You can also press Ctrl+Escape. Click All Programs. Click Business Explorer. Click Query Designer. The password field is filled out. Click OK. Click OK. In the following steps, you will see how to search for the query P_sales_analysis_001. Click Query. Clicking the Open menu item executes it. You can also press Ctrl+O. Clicking the entry Find selects it. The search term field is filled out. Click Find. Click Open. In the following steps, you will see how to open the Change Properties screen and maintain the properties for key figures. Click Query. Clicking the Properties menu item executes it. Clicking the Variable Sequence tab selects it. Clicking the Display tab selects it. Clicking the Extended tab selects it. Clicking the Rows/Columns tab selects it. Clicking the Variable Sequence tab selects it. Click Rows/Columns. Right-clicking on Incoming Orders EUR with the mouse opens a shortcut menu. Clicking the Edit menu item executes it. Clicking the Aggregation tab selects it. Clicking the Display tab selects it. Clicking the Extended tab selects it. Clicking the Conversions tab selects it. Clicking the Planning tab selects it. Clicking the Calculations tab selects it. Click OK. In the following steps, you will see how to select the default setting in the Display tab of the Key Figure Properties pane. Click Key Figures. Clicking the Display tab selects it. Click Close. Now you have seen how to maintain the properties for key figures.
Edit a key figure's description and technical name in the General tab. The following options are available in the Display tab.
The table displays the query level calculations and their descriptions.
Following are the key figure extended options. Decide if the cells are input ready for a key figure so that users can enter values directly into the cells.
The two types of key figure conversions are explained here.
As a prerequisite for currency translation, there must be existing currency translation types via the transaction RSCUR. A currency translation in SAP BW can take place at 3 points. When InfoProvider data is updated, a currency can be determined for use with each key figure. In the query definition, determine the currency conversion type and target currency for each structure part separately. If necessary, enter the required target currency in the Target Currency drop-down box. If you want the target currency to be determined at runtime, include a currency variable. In the executed report, all value key figures of the query can be translated into one common target currency with a currency translation key.
Choose how a formula result is calculated by selecting one of the options in the drop-down list, for example, min, max, or count. In this demonstration, you will see how to use key figure options. Click Start. You can also press Ctrl plus Escape. Click All Programs. Click Business Explorer. Click Query Designer. The password field is filled out. Click OK. Click OK. In the following steps, you will see how to open the query P_sales_analysis_001. Click Query. Clicking the Open menu item executes it. You can also press Ctrl plus O. Clicking the Entry Find selects it. The search term field is filled out. Click Find. Click Open. In the following steps, you will see how to set a scaling factor using the Properties Display tab. Click Incoming Orders EUR. Click Sales Volume EUR. Press the Control key while performing the action. Clicking the Display tab selects it. Clicking the Scaling Factor opens a drop-down list. Clicking the entry 1.000 selects it. In the following steps, you will see how to configure a calculation option. Clicking the Calculations tab selects it. Clicking the Calculate Single Values As opens a drop-down list. Clicking in the scroll area displays the desired area. Clicking the entry rank number selects it. Clicking the Calculate Results As opens a drop-down list. Clicking the entry Nothing Defined selects it. Drag Sales Volume. Drop on Columns section. In the following steps, you will see how to convert the currency for sales volume. Clicking the Conversions tab selects it. Clicking the Conversion Type opens a drop-down list. Clicking in the scroll area displays the desired area. Clicking the entry EUR selects it. Click Query. Clicking the Save As menu item executes it. You can also press Ctrl plus Shift plus S. The description field is filled out. The technical name field is filled out. Click Save. Click Close. In the following steps, you will see how to execute the query U00 Sales Analysis in Analysis. Click Start. You can also press Ctrl plus Escape. Click All Programs. Click _SAP Business Intelligence. Click SAP Business Objects Analysis. Click Analysis for Microsoft Excel. Clicking the Analysis tab selects it. Clicking the Insert opens a drop-down list. Clicking the Select Data Source menu item executes it. The Search For field is filled out. Click Find. The entry U00 Sales Analysis is selected by double-clicking on it. Click Close. Now you have seen how to use key figure options. Aggregation behavior determines how key figure values are aggregated in queries that use different characteristics and characteristic values. To calculate the values of key figures, the data from the info provider must be aggregated to the detail level of the query. Formulas may also need to be calculated.
The following table describes some examples of rules for exception aggregation.
You can define exception aggregation in two ways. In the properties of a key figure info object in the data warehousing workbench in the SAP BW system, you can configure exception aggregation during modeling of key figures and info providers if the exception aggregation is going to be applied to all queries. In the properties of formulas or calculated key figures in BEX Query Designer, add or change exception aggregation settings for each query by creating a formula object, adding operands, and defining the type of exception aggregation for the reference characteristics.
In an exception aggregation, you can use up to 5 reference characteristics so that the aggregation rule will be applied in a single calculation step that combines all of the reference characteristics. For example, you want to define a calculated key figure sales per employee and product and year.
Nested exception aggregation is necessary when you want to use an exception aggregation for a value that has been calculated with an exception aggregation. In this demonstration, you will see how to use exception aggregation and nested exception aggregation. Click Start. You can also press Ctrl plus Escape. Click All Programs. Click Business Explorer. Click Query Designer. The password field is filled out. Click OK. Click OK. In the following steps, you will see how to create a simple exception aggregation. Click New Query. The Entry Info Areas is selected by clicking on it. Clicking in the scroll area displays the desired area. The Entry Reporting layer is selected by double-clicking on it. The Entry Sales and Distribution is selected by double-clicking on it. The Entry Multi-Provider Customer Sales is selected by double-clicking on it. Click Rows/Columns. Drag Calendar Year. Drop on Rows section. Click Material. Click Material. Drag Material. Drop on Rows section. Click Customer. Click Sold to Party. Drag Sold to Party. Drop on Rows section. Click Sales Volume EUR. Drag Sales Volume EUR. Drop on Column section. Click Filter. Click Calendar Year. Drag Calendar Year. Drop on Characteristic Restriction section. Right-clicking on Calendar Year with the mouse opens a shortcut menu. Clicking the Restrict menu item executes it. Clicking the entry 2004 selects it. Clicking the entry 2005 selects it. Press the Control key while performing the action. Click Move to Selections. Click OK. In the following steps, you will see how to create an element average by customer in the key figure structure that will return the average sales volume per customer. You will then position the element at the end of the structure. Subsequently, you will also see how the query is saved with a description and a technical name. Click Rows/Columns. Right-clicking on Sales Volume EUR with the mouse opens a shortcut menu. Clicking the New Formula menu item executes it. Right-clicking on Formula 1 with the mouse opens a shortcut menu. Clicking the Edit menu item executes it. The description field is filled out. Click Sales Volume EUR. Drag Sales Volume EUR. Drop on Detail View section. Clicking the Aggregation tab selects it. Clicking the Exception Aggregation opens a drop-down list. Click Average. Clicking the ref.characteristic1 opens a drop-down list. Click Sold to Party. Click OK. Click Query. Clicking the Save menu item executes it. You can also press Ctrl+S. Clicking the Entry Roles selects it. The entry role 00U00_role is selected by double-clicking on it. The entry queries is selected by double-clicking on it. The description field is filled out. The technical name field is filled out. Click Save. In the following steps, you will see how to create a query with nested exception aggregation. Click New Query. Clicking the entry Info Areas selects it. Clicking in the scroll area displays the desired area. The entry reporting layer is selected by double-clicking on it. The entry Sales and Distribution is selected by double-clicking on it. The entry Multi-Provider Customer Sales is selected by double-clicking on it. Click Rows/Columns. Click Sales Area Data. Drag Distribution Channel. Drop on Rows section. Right-clicking on the column section with the mouse opens a shortcut menu. Clicking the New Structure menu item executes it. Right-clicking on Structure with the mouse opens a shortcut menu. In the following steps, you will see how to create two new formulas. Clicking the New Formula menu item executes it. Right-clicking on Structure with the mouse opens a shortcut menu. Clicking the New Formula menu item executes it. Formula 1 is double-clicked. Click Detail View section. Click 1. The description field is filled out. Clicking the Aggregation tab selects it. Clicking the Exception Aggregation opens a drop-down list. Clicking in the scroll area displays the desired area. Clicking the Entry Counter for all detailed values selects it. Clicking the ref.characteristic1 opens a drop-down list. Clicking in the scroll area displays the desired area. Clicking the entry Material selects it. Click OK. Formula 2 is double-clicked. count of products is double-clicked. The description field is filled out. Clicking the Aggregation tab selects it. Clicking the Exception Aggregation opens a drop-down list. Clicking in the scroll area displays the desired area. Clicking the Entry Average selects it. Clicking the ref.characteristic1 opens a drop-down list. Clicking the entry Sold to Party selects it. Click OK. In the following steps, you will see how to display the properties of the formula and set the number of decimal places to 0.0. Click Average number of products per customer. Clicking the Display tab selects it. Clicking the number of decimal places opens a drop-down list. Clicking the entry 0,0 selects it. In the following steps, you will see how to save the query with a description and technical name. Click Save. The description field is filled out. The technical name field is filled out. Click Save. Click Close. In the following steps, you will see how to open the analysis for MS Excel and search for the query by its description or technical name. Click Start. You can also press Ctrl plus Escape. Click All Programs. Click _SAP Business Intelligence. Click SAP Business Objects Analysis. Click Analysis for Microsoft Excel. Clicking the Analysis tab selects it. Clicking the Insert opens a drop-down list. Clicking the Select Data Source menu item executes it. Click RWB space. Click Next. The Search For field is filled out. Click Find. The entry ABG number of products per customer is selected by double-clicking on it. Click Close. Now, you have seen how to use exception aggregation and nested exception aggregation.